Yeah, we totally have. Right, Dave? Isn't that right? Hug it out. Hug it out, buddy.
No.
No? You don't want
a new jacket. I don't.
It is a quite nice jacket. I might dirty it there. I was sweating quite a bit on that stage. That being said, though, folks, we're so excited for this one. Optic versus Native Red. It's going to be a banger series because Native Red certainly have an opportunity here to silence the crowd, but also really get themselves back into a position that they know that they are capable of being in. But for Optic Gaming, they are playing some damn good Halo right now, Dave. And if anything, this match, this series, this is theirs to lose here.
Absolutely, Optic looking so strong, but taking a look at our map layout, we got Oddball Street, Slayer, Recharge, CTF Aquarius, and if needed, Strongholds, Livefire, and Slayer on Solitude. The key to this one's going to be Native Red holding down all those OBJ games, starting off with this game number 1 on the streets. Optic so far this tournament, they've only dropped 1 Slayer game. They are 7-1 so far this event here at Fort Worth. So Native Red either got to step it up and clear up all those objective games, or they're gonna have to steal away one of those Slayers. You know they've been kicking themselves. They know they've been hard on themselves since their last loss at Salt Lake City with that massive lead on Livefire Slayer.
You're damn right, Dave, and this is it. Oddball winner bracket final to start things off. Optic Gaming, Native Red, Fort Worth. Let me hear you as we jump into the action, because this one, it's gonna be a good one. Two teams hungry for the opportunity to play in the grand finals here at Fort Worth, Texas. And I don't think anyone had Optic and Native Red on their bingo cards, but here we go as we jump into the action with the one and only APG. They're gonna try and play around this banker here and not give him any free power items whatsoever. A push coming out of the cafe, but APG's there to receive him.
Kills being traded left and
they
right,
got it.
but Rocket's in the hand of SoulSnipe and zeroes in on that player sitting over at the cafe.
Try and see if he can put this pressure over toward PD SoulSnipe. Looking to disengage from this one wisely enough, though. Doesn't have the help. You end up losing 2 players. There's not really much you can do in that situation. Kind of a dead push for SoulSnipe. He's going to need to go to his teammate ASAP. You see a few of those spawns starting to come in. Big fight for Lucid, who's been immaculate in this tournament thus far. And a great read. He thought he was going to repeat that one, but instead went right for the tires, and that's going to be ball grab in the possession of Optic Gaming.
All secured, and Lucid just watching the crossfire all the way over towards Neons, and the push is coming in from both sides. This is going to be tough for Optic. Players have already broken into Cafe. They are pinned over here. If they do not win this fight, this is going to be a full setup here for Native Red.
And Suppress is going to kick things off and is able to get that first frag. Formal, though, looking to see if he can find himself a few targets. And they're holding this one off, but Suppress gets 2. And Suppress is trying to be a one-man army in this situation, though. And they are going to break it, and Suppress gets that ball. And you were right, Dave. You called it out. This was going to be a big fight for Optic. They couldn't hold it.
Yeah, they get the ball, and they wisely rotated away as Optic spawn over towards the cafe, but looks like Optic were privy to that rotation. They push in towards Neons and get a stop on that ball.
SoulSnipe with a connection there. Ball right back in the hands of Optic. Watch out, though, for that grenade. Sometimes they're homing missiles. TriPPPeY, though, waited around the corner and thought that he was going to see probably an easy target around the side, but that's actually going to be 3 down, leaving Lucid, the LMS here, to have to deal with this one. But the ball back in the hands of Native.
Optic in the setups, and Native Red bringing the breaker of those setups. Very little time is being acquired once Optic get it in the spot where they want it. Another set of rockets here, relatively ineffective, but 2 players go down, and we're going to see what Native Red can finally do now that they have some players down and a little bit of breathing room. But just as I say that, APG breaking on through at Tram.
Yeah, they had to ditch the ball there, losing 2 players for Native Red. APG in the back of the base, identifying where a few of them are going to be, hanging out by the B Street steps. Got some help there too, so TriPPPeY gets himself 2 for that one. And that's going to slow things down for Native Red, but Optic can now add a little bit more to the board here. But not if Native Red has other plans. They're trying to put the pressure on the APG, but he's trying to live by the 5 rules of dodgeball: dip, dive, duck, dodge, and dodge. And he does it.
Great play there by APG. First faking like he's going to run that towards Bulldog/Cafe, and then reverting back towards the Tram. Now we've seen Native Red break the last 2 setups flawlessly. Can they do it a 3rd time in a row? And here comes all the damage from Lucid. Gonna trade those kills out. Can the spawner, Formal, be a back in the fight? He spawned during this engagement, but APG is now down. And Formal, outnumbered, outgunned here over at the Tram. How does he play this situation?
But you know what, though? He ended up getting some help over on the Neon Street from a spawn from TriPPPeY on PD, so it gives him enough time to be able to add a little bit of damage here. Unfortunately, though, I think they were able to neutralize that so quickly. So a good call on that one for Native Red, kind of take their time on that push and remove some of those bigger factors that could potentially play spoiler for them here as they'll continue to rack on some time.
Yeah, and some Preston crew, they had a setup. They felt like they could put the extra pressure on the spawns, but kind of stagger a couple kills there. Optic gonna take that opening, get the slays, and are we gonna see a third set of rockets go in the hands of Native Red? Not so sure this time, as 3 members of Native Red are down, rockets up in 7.
Yeah, but they are gonna be hovering about that there, right? Near the Bulldog. Here comes Sentinel Beam for the support, looking to just fry them with a microwave.
Ooh.
Gets the killing spree. Might add a little bit more to boot as well. I believe the rockets were gonna be nabbed. So we'll see how this ends up panning out here. As TriPPPeY continues to linger about, it's going to be another frag for him, and the rockets grabbed by TriPPPeY. This will be Optic's first grab of those pivotal power weapons to try and swing the game back in their favor, and they've been able to add on a lot of time with that ball, Dave.
Look at this, TriPPPeY just waiting for players to round the corner, buying some time, and this is a strong, successful setup here for Optic Gaming. All the other setups have been broken so quickly, but this one's gonna be tough. They know this player is by the bench, been there for so long, finally takes them out, but they still have 3 members alive. Optic gonna continue to hold the setup.
Yeah, TriPPPeY making himself a really difficult kill. It's gonna certainly play spoiler here to Native Red as they continue to rack on some more time. 85 points and counting here. APG, he's gonna ditch that one over toward the middle of the map, toward the palm trees, just try and draw out some of this fire here, wait for his teammates to come back so he can help them out. It's a difficult area for them to grab that from. But as it stands right now, they do have a few of the numbers to try and challenge this one, Native Red, but Optic trying to make this one very difficult yet again for them. Ball's still gonna be out in the middle of the field.
And Native Red continued to try to put this pressure on. They had the spawns over Tram, they had control there, but they all push on over towards tower. Nobody's grabbing time. They're bringing the fight to Optic, and they're not winning the battles.
3 down for them. You got a player who's basically just gonna be isolated. Poor SoulSnipe is just surrounded by the members of Optic Gaming. APG waiting to see if anyone's going to push forward. That Stalker in this position, such a strong angle to have. Just look at the damage he's going to be able to output on that one. Only have 13% left on the charge, but certainly the damage has been done. More kills starting to come in. Lucid's having a pretty solid game, and that's basically going to wrap it up. Round 1 goes to the green wall.
Clinical play there by Optic Gaming. I had to give a lot of credit to Native Red during a couple of those initial pushes during round 1 where I was like, wow, they were breaking these Optic steps so well. But just felt Optic played much more comfortable. They were playing defensive. They're letting Native Red kind of bring the pressure to them and fall into traps.
And you get good individual moments as well from this guy, from TriPPPeY, who has just been awesome this entire tournament. Starts things off with a double kill and puts Native Red down 3 down right out of the gate here. SoulSnipe, though, trying to keep things going, and he gets himself a double for his own efforts.
Ball down on the ground, not a very safe hold just yet, but if they can somehow sneak away with that, Native Red can bring this one back towards tower. And it looks like they decide to grab it and then bring it to tower. Every other time that Native Red have been in these positions, they've overextended. Are they going to make the same mistake again? We shall find out. Looks like Suppress is somehow picked off. So even though they aren't able to break the full step, they get the ball carrier, they stop the time, and Manny is the only one alive over here. I like this rotation, needs to bring up towards Tram, but opts just to play it because he does not have the God view that we all get to see.
Yep, he does not. Working with limited information and what the information is that his team can provide him there, but he's kind of bringing this one back over to Optic, but does he get the frags out of this one? It seems like it's working out so far for him. He's going to challenge in this with the red gun and manages to get the double kill. Killing spree there for Manny to boot, and the ball is going to be available for the team to grab it here, but they got to get on this ASAP. TriPPPeY, though, trying to make a play happen, but he's going to get punished right away. He does manage to get that 1 kill, but it is going to be Manny just bringing this ball back over to his teammate, and that ball's been moving all over the place, Dave.
Slays, but by no means are Native Red in any comfortable spot. They're able to run through, get these crucial kills, but like I said, they're not able to sit in a setup. They're not able to let Optic just push and fall into any sort of traps. It feels like they're scrambling every single step of the way just to get these 7 points on the board.
And this was the mode that we were really looking for Native Red to pick up here in this series if they wanted a chance in this one, because they're going into Slayer next. And granted, Native Red, a damn good Slayer team, but let's be honest here, Optic have been crushing it this event. 7-1 total. They have been owning in that game mode. if anything, this is just going to put more pressure on Native Red here to have to try and close this game out. But so far, though, they're getting a little bit of a setup.
And I like this play. This is one of the first times we're really seeing Native Red kind of sit back, hold the setup versus bringing the fight all the way towards Tower or PD. And look how it's playing out. They have 3 members down. Rocket's still on the field. SoulSnipe has them in their hands. I love this regression here from Native Red. They aren't just bringing the action for no reason. They're picking and choosing smart fights.
Yeah, but one of the things that they needed to be aware of was where that push was going to be coming from, and that was the ramp on the opposite side of the map. So now you have one more rocket to try and make this push happen, but a member of Optic's going to try and stop you right in your tracks. You get the kill, but you don't get use of those rockets. I'm sure they would have loved to have been able to bring a few of those in there to try and handle the ball carrier. SoulSnipe, though, as we continue to stick with his POV. He's got 2 players up ahead, actually. Scratch that. It's only going to be 1. His APG should be made quick work of here, but he's trying to rotate.
I love the pace that that SoulSnipe took there. If the ball is rotating away from you, you don't need to check every corner at Tram. You don't need to take a careful route. You need to beeline it as quick as you can towards that ball. And because of that, SoulSnipe is able to give his team the crucial help they need with shots from the back against Optic and get control back in their hands.
And something, too, that you had mentioned before, Dave. You talked about the setup and what Native Red were accomplishing for a little while there. But something else they've been doing really well has just been moving that ball around. They've never really allowed it to be in a comfortable spot, but they've been picking up some garbage time. Now, as Optic have been able to get possession of this, are we going to see the setups really begin to plague Native Red again? Because that's what happened in that last round.
Yeah, once Optic really got a strong set, that's where they really pulled away with that lead. Native Red were successful in breaking those sets majority of the time before they were punished. We're going to have to see if they can do it right now. Lucid knows the player's weak over at B. Taking a one-on-one stairs. And Suppress tries to run away, but Lucid says no.
Not today. As he stops them in their tracks, and they were able to pick up the rockets off of that. They also got themselves a Sentinel Beam to boot, so they have a lot of toys to play with here. They just can't give anything up. Oh, and they gave up at least 1 rocket. Doesn't really get the kill. 2 players down now for Optic Gaming. Lucid's on the flank. He's waiting to see if anyone tries to get a little ambitious here. And there he is, actually right behind Suppress, so he's going to have to handle that one right away. And Lucid still manages to stay alive.
1 shot. He knows players nearby.
Ouch.
Manny puts a shutdown onto Lucid, but crucial battle coming in over at the Neons. And Native Red are going to put some more points on the board. Let's see if they're going to try for a scrappy rotation or hold their ground and slay. Formal gets the initial entry frag here, and the push is coming in from Optic.
Yeah, 3 players looking to get in the face of Manny. He's able to take out one of them, though. And they're still holding on to this one, playing the ball around the area, trying to see if they can just bait out some of the shots.
Surprising. When Native Red had the ball, it feels like they played it too early and almost just put it in the hands of Optic. Optic did not have to break that full setup. They just scooped that ball near the ball spawn, and now they have it over at Tram.
Yeah, it felt like Native Red thought they had a little bit more comfort in that situation than they ended up having, and it just pays out really well for TriPPPeY and the rest of Optic.
Either more comfort, or they play balled it way too early.
That's
you can hold it out over towards top tower and force the team to have to push all the way across the map instead of just toss it to them in the bottom center.
TriPPPeY doing work with the Stalker rifle. 19 left on the charge, but the damage has certainly been done as they're going to continue to add on 60 and counting here. 3 players were just down for Native Red, so they're going to need to regroup this and start to really give themselves a centralized push so they can make this stop happen and really just stop the bleeding from Optic Gaming.
Yeah, they got the entry frag. They got that 1 player down suppressed. Now, are Native going to continue to push here towards the ball, or are they going to set for these rockets? Looks like TriPPPeY caught off guard over at the balcony. Going to have to back down. Not going to be a factor here during this power weapon.
They're going to have to make a play here because the time is ticking. Lucid's got the rockets, and with those rockets, it's going to be near impossible for Native Red to try and make this push happen. There goes 1 kill. You got 5 points left. Optic looking to start this one off with a statement. Native Red needed the ball game if they wanted to really get into the series, but Optic says not today as they take map 1.
Strong start for Optic. They were favored there in that oddball game, and they showed why. Native Red now are going to have to steal away 1 of those Slayers, which they're even less favored compared to game number 1. So Native Red, they have the work cut out for them.
Yeah, and also, too, you can clearly tell throughout that series, Native Red's strategy, get that ball, try and bring it around the map, not really trying to get comfortable setups. Well, they couldn't get comfortable setups.
There was no
Optic were
comfort there.
punishing them.
Yeah, Optic were
They
punishing
outplayed
but
them a lot.
It just felt like in every single situation with the oddball, it felt like Native Red could have optimized a little better. It felt like they could have held back a little bit more, gone for some slays, let Optic make the pushes. Felt like they didn't need to force rotations. Felt like they didn't need to make the play balls as early as they did. It felt like kind of every single scenario getting just outmaneuvered from the boys at Optic.
Yeah, very well done by Optic Gaming. They identified what their win condition was going to be. Strong setups, objective efficiency that we have been praising all weekend long from a lot of the teams here at Fort Worth, but Optic did that in spades. And also, too, it helps out when TriPPPeY and Lucid are just pounding Dave. They were ripping faces all over the place, and there really wasn't much
Look
else.
at that. I did not see how he got those rockets. Still
Lucid
before.
evolved.
I was like, TriPPPeY has no chance to get those doing but Lucid
He
doing a perfect
it.
setup over at the dumpster for those final rockets.
That was beautiful. There's one thing I love, it's that nerdy stuff. I love those little plays where you kind of give yourself the upper hand here, but we're getting ready as we go into Slayer and really reflect on the stats here, because Optic Gaming super favored in this one, 7-1, and they have looked so good. But Native Red, they're a fantastic team at pressuring their opponent and playing a very loose yet aggressive style. I wonder if Suppressed and the rest of the team will be able to bring this in.
And we got to kick it off, though, with Lucid. He has a 1.61 KD leader here at Fort Worth in the slaying department and getting a sick pick off on SoulSnipe off the get-go.
TriPPPeY, of course, going to continue with the success of that last game, and this time he's going to reward himself with a camo. That's exactly where SoulSnipe's going to be. And also, him using this particular weapon here, I'm sure there are a lot of new players watching today, and you're like, why is he using a Magnum when you have a VR? Well, that pistol just shreds. It is a very strong weapon, especially with that camo. Oh.
I'll add a little caveat in there. When you're playing big team battle and you're nobody near, oh my God,
Get him!
triple kill
Get him, boy!
for TriPPPeY. He knows the final player is still over at the elevator. And it's going to spawn. Oh, great trade there by Suppressed. I was going to say it's going to stagger the spawns a little further, but Suppressed somehow able to walk away with a couple kills there, despite being outnumbered and cornered.
3 frags up here for Optic. Things slow down a little bit. Native Red just trying to identify where are their pushes going to come from. It seems like right now it's going to be an elevator's push, and that's going to prompt the players over toward Long Haul to make their move, which is why Lucid doubles back here. You see 3 members of Native Red circling around this, but Lucid still playing his life so well, and the fact that he's even able to get 1 kill out of that while 3 players were hanging out there for Native Red just continues to slow down any of their momentum.
Yeah, just great pushes there from Native Red. I actually want to hear what Optic are going to do to counter that. There's so many times where the structure is being pulled in for so many angles, so many different flanks. So let's go to an Optic Gaming listen to hear how they're going to try to close out this game number 2.
C-stairs, yep. C-front, yep. C-stairs, back up.
Get the gold, get the gold.
Yeah, we need gold.
Nah,
I can maybe play long haul, though.
C-stairs spawn.
I want to play long haul here. I want to play long haul here.
I'll check lock. Get bottom. Get bottom.
Give her pulser. Go guys, top tower. Watch my cross. Top tower weak. Top tower weak.
One's bottom tower now.
I'm walking long haul, guys. I'm walking long haul. Go shooting. Oh, there's 2 guys here. There's 2 guys here.
Bottom tower, half going front tower. Kill scout bottom tower.
Yeah, you guys just play tower.
You want neither.
He's
here.
Bottom tower.
Make a bit. Bottom tower half. Look out, make a door. Make a door. Make a door.
Come on.
Guys, come on, these guys.
Single door, bottom mid. Yellow door going make a play with camo. Bottom tower.
One's a gold, 2 I'm looking.
Backing up, backing up.
Saber will bolster top A.
Alright.
2 going top A. 2 top A to tower. Here, Tommy.
Hitting it now, hitting it now. Shoot the plasma now, shoot the plasma now.
Absolute.
Behind them.
Backside half.
Nice. One guy long.
There's Camo still somewhere.
One guy long. Okay. C-plat. I think they're both C-plat.
Yeah, I'm still watching for our elbow.
Go behind long. Go behind long.
Could be A.
Camo's here. Go hit long, go hit long.
Long ship, Camo.
Don't see this guy long haul. Kill long haul right now.
Okay.
Jumping up glass. Absolute. Jumping up glass.
There's still tower. Bottom tower half.
Nice. Here, Tommy.
Yeah, bottom tower half. He's one shot those C-boxes in the corner.
Heal that. C-stairs.
Great communication there from Optic Gaming, but also, I mean, we were on Lucid screen for so long there. What great use of the repulsor, the utility that he picks up. Seems like anything that goes to his hands, he finds a way to optimize the usage of that particular piece of utility every time. It's impressive.
Other thing I noticed during the listening is they're playing a more defensive and reactive game here to Native Red. They just know these pushes are coming from so many angles that they're just saying, all right, let's hold down gold, let's hold down this area. And they're getting crossfired from some of their spots in Native Red. So Native Red are doing a great job with their pressure and their pushes. But Optic, they've curated their playstyle around this. They're not forcing different pushes this time. They instead are letting Native Red fall into a couple traps. They're checking all their angles and seeing what areas they have secured.
Yeah, and you can even see that has put a little bit more pressure on Native Red here. Taulek was taking his time as he was trying to cross. That prompted a push from Gold as well, from Pipes rather, to try and make that kill happen. Like all these little details that we're seeing Optic do, and it's really just putting more of that pressure on Native Red to have to make moves happen. They're down by a sizable amount, 8 frags. APG's in a great position to be able to get that camo too. And they know exactly where he's going to be too, so he's going to try and keep himself alive out of this one. Might have to give up at least, the very least, that positioning that he wanted. And Native Red isolated him so well, they just had to remove him from that equation.
Yeah, suppressed with a perfect flank. And now let's see what Native Red can do now that they have camo. Now that they're on the aggressive push, they have numbers, but 2 players get taken out. That camo loss was tragic. And trading kill after kill, that's going to be all 4 down for Native Red in a moment that they needed to collapse.
And each of those trades are just going to continue to be better for Optic Gaming. When we speak about those trades, it's when those 2 players frag one another at the same time, get the kill. And that just is only going to benefit Optic Gaming because of the numbers that they have right now. 34 kills to the 25 of Native Red. So if you keep trading that out until 50, you're basically in a great position if you're Optic. I don't even think it's going to matter all that much over the way that these guys are hitting these shots.
Oh my God, Manny somehow lives on that. Gets the melee onto Sneaky Legend. That could be the turning point that this roster needs, but Lucid making use of that green gun, trying to pick Manny off, but still unsuccessful. Manny's been living over here for so long.
Yeah, he was there for quite a while. And you can see that attempted coordinated push by, I think it was Lucid as well as Formal. TriPPPeY now looking to go in here for the challenge, but will get punished instantly out of that one. You got 3 players over toward that Whirlpool side of the map. 1 actually inside of Pipe. SoulSnipe, is he aware? He is aware, but no trade coming through. And Lucid manages to get the kill and stay alive, which is big for them in this position.
But continuing with just these traps and setup, Lucid crouching around a corner, waiting for someone to make a misstep. Hearing those footsteps from a sprinting SoulSnipe. He's going to get that 2-shot melee and finish off right away. So it just goes to show how fast Native Red are trying to play and how Optic are countering that with just a few traps and tricks up their sleeves.
They know that that shock rifle's in play, so they don't want to give up any dumb depths here, especially with a 10-kill lead that we're seeing right now from Optic Gaming. Camo's going to be up for grabs here. 2 players of Native are looking at it presently, but you just have the 1 player, Lucid, and he's been taking faces with that shock Formal as well. Faces just continue to be slow-paced here, and I get it. I respect it. If anything, Native Red, they're respecting the fact that these weapons are in play and they just can't do anything about it. They're trying to make these pushes, but every single time they get attacked, there's someone there from Optic to receive them.
Yeah, just so much damage in. Optic not afraid to push the advantage when they have it. That's the key difference here is when it's a neutral scenario and Optic are uncertain of what to do, they're waiting it out.
1 more kill remains here in this Slayer. Optic Gaming trying to go up 2-0. APG with the camo. Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun. He's looking for it. He's like a shark in the water. And it's not going to happen, but it doesn't matter. Because all that matters is the dub. TriPPPeY gets the final kill on Manny. And that is going to be Optic up 2-0 here. 1 more game. And they'll find themselves in the grand finals here in Fort Worth.
Luckily for Native Red, though, we got a couple OBJ games following this one up. Aquarius CTF is actually a rematch from Salt Lake City, where Native Red won 2-0. So this could be a chance for Native Red to reset, or Optic gonna learn from their mistakes at Salt Lake City and try to close this one out in a game number 3.
Yeah, will history repeat itself here? We'll find out. But for right now, though, for Native Red and the position that they find themselves in, this isn't going to be easy. You are trying to claw your way back into this one against a white-hot Optic. And also, every single player on that team is hitting those shots. I keep going back to TriPPPeY, even though he was at 12-12 there. He's such a good setup man for this team, and it gives them so many openings here for them to get those big shock rifle kills, to get those big sneaky plays that they've been able to pull off.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Look at all that damage across the board. Formal topping the leaderboards with 4K damage for his +9 game, leading Optic to that 2-0 lead.
Beautiful stuff there from Optic as you take a look at some of the highlights in that last one. And really, I mean, the Optic highlight reel just continues onward here. The boys from Native Red got to get themselves back into the game. This triple was gorgeous, though. He was just waiting for it.
See that? That's so sick.
He saw the hand come out from the reload. Knew it was weak because you could see a little bit of detail of the Spartan recharging. And he just went for it, sent the shot. Gorgeous stuff here from Optic Gaming.
This play by Manny, though. Manny lives so long at C stairs and over at long haul, buying as much time as possible, but despite some of his individual efforts, just felt a bit disconnected there for Native Red.
It did.
Clearly not in the same level as Optic Gaming when it comes to Slayers.
Yeah, no, it certainly did. And they're going to have to find that cohesion in this Aquarius CTF game. You mentioned it before, Dave. They've done it before. They've beaten Optic on this mode. And we certainly don't want this winter final to end in a 3-0. Of course, if you're an Optic fan, you definitely want that to happen. But for Native Red, they can try and find their way a reverse sweep, which would be massive. But let's take a look at the elimination bracket here. It went down to the wire, but FaZe were able to clutch it out. 3-2. They will play against Space Station Gaming. And then the winner of that will take on the loser of this game. But our top four, Optic, Native Red, FaZe, Space Station. Gotta say, Native Red, shout out to them, man. Putting themselves in a great position here, but they have to pretty much make a massive reverse sweep happen to stay in this series.
Yeah, they're really, really good at Aquarius CTF, so I'm not too worried for them here. But you have to wonder, are they starting to question themselves? Are they starting to do unorthodox pushes? Are they trying to do too much individually to make things happen versus taking their time, take a breath? It feels like they're just always go, 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 force the next play. Some points when they have a good lead or great position, let Optic make the play. Let Optic walk into one of your traps. Right now, I've yet to see that happen from Native Red.
Yeah, and that is certainly a thing that we need to keep our eyes on as we get ready for this Aquarius CTF game. Did want to also let everyone know an update. Congratulations to Luminosity as they won the Mexico playoff and are going to be going to the Halo World Championship. So congratulations to them. Well earned, well deserved. Looking forward to seeing what that squad could do in Seattle in October. Make sure you get your tickets now because it's going to be a dope event. Last year was sick. So you want to be there again this time around. FOMO is a real thing, at least for a Halo event. In any case, though, guys, this is it. Optic could go 3-0 into the grand finals. And coming into this tournament, I don't think a lot of people were feeling that this Optic were going, that this version of Optic, that this team was going to be in this position. I guess if you're a die-hard fan, but outside of that, the stats were not looking good for them.
Let's be real, even at this tournament, looking at pool play, they lost to Quadrant.
Yeah.
They almost lost to G1 in pool play. But once it got to bracket play, they really stepped it up to a whole nother level and are priming themselves for a potential tournament victory here. But like we said before, you can never count out a squad like Native Red. CTF Aquarius is going to be a strong mode for them. They can get a foothold back in this game, get some momentum in their favor, and they also have a Strongholds live fire to back it up for game number 4. So Native Red definitely not out just yet. However, series heavily favored for Optic right now since they took that game number 1.
For Native Red, they're just going to have to take this one map at a time. Don't worry about what happened in the past. Recharge Slayer did not go your way. Optic have been frying on that mode. So there's really just no shame in holding an L on that one because a lot of other teams here in Fort Worth did the same thing. So this is it. Native Red, a chance for them to go to the grand finals here in Fort Worth. Young players on that stage, but so much experience at this point that it's hard to, analyze them in that capacity because they have been cooking as of late. And with Suppress on the lineup, they've only just continued to find more and more success as that player has gelled with that lineup.
Yeah, Suppress has been playing out of his mind so far this tournament, doing a great job filling in on this roster. We did talk about how Native Red won this game mode last time 2-0. The other part we didn't cover just yet is that they only had 2 flagpoles. So they have been completely effective every single time they're pulling the flag. They're doing it at the right times and capping that flag. But you almost have to wonder, are they not giving themselves enough opportunities? We will find out here in a moment when we get CTF Aquarius started.
Yeah, and also too, you had mentioned about what did Optic learn? If there's a squad we know that goes to the lab and studies and learns from their losses, it is Optic. There's no way Coach Box is going to let them get away with those shenanigans. So we'll see now. Could Optic 3-0 sweep Native Red and punch a ticket to the grand final? Or will Native Red start a journey for a reverse sweep right here on a map that they have defeated Optic in the past? A lot of pressure. But that's what it's all about here at Championship Sunday at the Halo Championship Series. And we're right into this one, and we're kicking it off once again with the legend himself, APG.
Scoping out util, go in there first. And looks like Optic getting the better of the start as TriPPPeY gets the opening kill onto Manny. But the pressure isn't stopping there as Native Red break through defenses and already on the Optic flag. SoulSnipe and Suppressed on the Optic flag. They're getting an early pull.
Yeah, I think APG was like, when the hell did that happen? He was like looking on the other side of the map, and then out of nowhere, they just were inside of their base. Manny's going to be playing a real sneaky play here, and I don't think APG is wise to the fact that Manny's going to be right next to him. But he is going to get removed from the equation courtesy of Lucid. But that kind of sets a tone here that Native Red are not backing down from Optic despite the scoreline.
Not at all, and I like this play from Taulek, just waiting around that corner with the pistol, seeing if anyone jumps on over into his sights, and then pushing out once more teammates have spawned. Not just trickling in death after death.
TriPPPeY just has been one shot for what felt like an eternity, but he'll just play this one slowly. You get yourself a kill onto Suppress now. It's going to give themselves a little bit of a go button here to start to make this push happen. Killing spree as well for TriPPPeY. Again, this guy just keeps getting killing sprees. Can he stop, please? But I think for Optic, it's like, no more, keep going, kill them all, because that is exactly what he's doing here. And the flag has made its way to the other side of the map. No one's there really to stop it unless you're going to see Taulek or Manny in a position, but it's not going to happen. And that's the first flag cap in for Optic.
Just too many slays on the board. It was 12-6 in the slaying department in favor of Optic off the rip there. You can only do so much when they have so many more kills.
Yeah.
It'd be a little different if they only have a couple more kills, but when they're outslaying you 2-1, Optic are going to eventually break in and get this flag. Also, I'm just wondering about the position that we're seeing majority of these Native Red members in. You see a lot of them scurrying down low, sometimes later pushing over towards top pink, but you see these members of Optic able to take escape routes where they're jumping out in open spots where if Native Red had somebody up a little bit higher or up on their flag, they would be getting those finishes.
Of course, here as the action slows down, players trying to find some kind of intel. I think TriPPPeY had tried to make that play happen, but there is going to be an attempted pull. SoulSnipe as well. He's trying to support as much as he can here so they can get this flag right through, and he does. Manny manages to break through, and SoulSnipe still stays alive. That's going to be 3 down, Walsh. This is looking like a flag cap here for Native Red.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way to stop this one, but it's Lucid, MVP in the back of the flag. He gets the kill on SoulSnipe.
2 down.
He gets the pull. And the double. Lucid staying alive on the Native Red flag. He's gonna try to get this recovery soon, and he's sitting on it. Suppressed, the last one alive. They know the spawn's over at Fridge, and that is gut-wrenching for Native Red. They thought a almost guaranteed flag going in turns into a counter cap.
This man is a menace. Lucid is alive. Lucid is a problem. 2-0 for Optic Gaming. How the turntables here, man, for Native Red. You would think that they actually would have been in this position, but no, instead it's Optic learning from the mistakes of the past, really just continuing to punish these fights here. Native Red keep taking these individual battles, and it is not working, Dave.
Yeah, and I can't fault Native Red for the last one. I felt like they did everything right. They brought back SoulSnipe to help escort it.
They did everything
it
right.
Just felt like
Lucid.
yeah, they did kill Lucid, but it's just more of a misexecution error versus a decision error.
Good help there as well. Lucid on the pickup, APG on the move. It's going to open the floodgates here for Formal to get inside of the Native Red base. You see those spawns coming in from the fridges. This is a great hold, good damage being done. He's just putting as much shots forward as he can, really just to slow them down, because they're going to have to wait for those shields to recharge, which continues to just put more pressure on Native Red to have to make plays happen, but they're waiting so long.
Yeah, and Optic afford luxury now to play defense like they have the majority of this series. They're going to allow Native Red to try to force pushes just like that. Suppressed, flanking on through, getting into the Optic Gaming flag. Does this pay off? We'll find out, but you see how these aggressive plays from Native Red, they're kind of doing these disjointed flanks and pushes to try to force some action.
Yeah, and in some instances it's working because you have Taulek still alive inside of the mid, and he does have some support over toward Util. So Manny now looking to see if he can make this play happen. It's going to be up to Taulek though to push inside of the back of the base. He's also got some support too. Great jump up as well. They know exactly where that mark is going to be located and where the spawns are going to be coming from to boot. But they have to clear this out here, Native Red, and they're losing a few of the numbers that they started things off with. Credit to APG though for keeping himself alive, and that push is dead in the water.
All four down, but nobody to grab the flag. Suppressed, uncertain where these spawns are, trying to scope them out. Knows that the spawns must be on the flag or util and cannot push in by himself. Gonna stop staggering these spawns. I like this slowdown for just a moment.
Yeah, well also too, they really didn't have much in the way of choice, Dave, because that was 3 players in the Optic base, and even with that, credit, broke his ankles there, but credit where credit is due. These guys from Optic, their defensive holds have been spectacular thus far, and they have not really allowed Native Red to get a kind of comfortable foothold inside of the Optic base.
Yeah, it was APG just staying alive at the back of that flag so long that allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
APG just knowing that once a player makes it that far across the map, the likelihood of them having grenades without having to try to flush someone out of a corner or bank them up the flag ramp earlier is unlikely. So just waits back there and forces somebody to round the corner in order to finish them off with a BR rather than just getting a free nade kill.
Pulling that attention, being just a pain to have to deal with. That's what it's all about, and few players are able to do that as well as some of the veterans that are on Optic Gaming. Now look at Lucid there. He was trying to go for the same play that he went for before. Up the steps to try and apply pressure to Native Red, force him in the back of the base here. And it is kind of sort of working to an extent because Native Red really have been able to comfortably get out of their base and get into some of these fights.
Yeah, but we're now seeing them hold up some upper positions. You see SoulSnipe holding over towards car 3. This could play off well. There's so many other times when they've been pushing the base that they've been sitting courtyard as a supporting fire.
Going low.
When they have someone up high, laying down shots, they have those additional angles. They get more suppression fire rather than being down low.
Good use of
this is great position. Yeah, 2 down. SoulSnipe has so much shield, and he has teammates flying in with them. That's going to be 3 down. His team's going to be able to run this flag towards Util.
Yeah, well, Formal's actually going to be out and about there. You can see Lucid off the spawn, too. Some shots coming in from TriPPPeY. Someone's going to have to be there to handle that. And this is a similar situation what happened before. They got that flagpole, and then it just died as soon as they got around to their base. And that also speaks to Optic, right? They knew this was not going to be a winning fight for them, so they overextended, went for that flag, put it down, and just continued to just tell Native Red, hey, you think this is comfortable? Nah, not happening.
Yeah, and Optic able to take their time on this stop. It looks like
he's continuing it, though.
Native Red's still going to be able to move this one across the map. But Optic Gaming not forced to panic and do a one-push, do-or-die scenario. Because they knew that flag was slowed, they knew that they could take a safer route. They could push at their own leisure across the map. But we got ourselves a game, Golden Boy. First flag going in for Native Red.
And that's what we wanted to see, some life from this roster, as they're looking to punch a ticket to the grand finals just like their opponents. But as it stands right now, Optic Gaming with the lead. They put in a lot of work to get that flag cap. They're going to try and go for another one yet again.
And Taulek continually down over at these courtyards. Sometimes it's been paying off. Other times feels like he's not in a high enough position to help his teammates. Too many players down low here for Native Red. They're getting funneled in towards bombs there. Great thrust there from Taulek. Gives away his position as he touches that for a moment. But Formal, the last one alive. He's the only one alive on the map, so he is going to be safe to run this all the way across.
They
Gets
gotta
it all
stop
the way
it.
towards the fridge ramp, but taken out.
They have to stop this. Flag's gonna be out. Lucid got the target on his back here. Beautiful shot. Going Super Saiyan on that one. Well played from him. As he managed to stay alive there. Taulek, good try, my friend, but that's gonna be another stop, and that's gonna be 3. And Optic Gaming continue on. What a run that they're going on here, Dave.
Lucid playing that so smart. Many people feel once you get the flag back towards your base, you should go back and turtle in and escort it in. No, you need to take up more ground. Lucid went over towards Car side, went towards Util side, takes up more ground and gives his team more angles to focus in and protect their base.
Just how absurd is it that one guy is creating that much space for Optic Gaming just by his presence alone? I can't speak highly enough of Lucid, because even though he's not currently top of the leaderboard in his team currently, that doesn't matter. What matters is that he's getting these really effective plays done, whether it's applying damage to their opponents or picking off 1 or 2 key kills, or maybe even a flank on the other side. They have been doing a lot of things right, and Lucid has been the tip of the spear.
Yeah, let's be real. If Lucid didn't make that play earlier on the flag, we'd be talking about a tied game at the moment.
Yeah.
1 more flag for Native and 1 fewer flags for Optic.
They managed to clear the threats that were hanging around on the outsides of their base, but they know that there's still going to be 1 more in here. So they'll go ahead and handle that one. Question is, though, are they a bit too turtled inside of here? You got a few members of Optic that are going to be weak, but they have been able to hold this position before. They found success with it in this very position from APG earlier on, but they're actually going to get that shield back and then push forward.
Yeah, they all revert back and turtle, and then once the call's been made that they have enough shield, they all push out. Look at that. They take their time, allow Native to fall into a trap, and if they don't, they make the push that they want to make, and they have the firepower they need. And just, again, not even focused on charging towards top pink or charging too far across the map. They know the pressure's coming their way. Native Red only have 1.5 minutes to capture 2 flags just to tie this up.
They're going to have to pull off something huge here, Native Red, if they want to get back into this series. And so far, it has been very difficult for them to even step outside of the base, especially when a flag pull just happened there. TriPPPeY using the quantum translocator to get to the other side of the map, still stays alive there, and they're kind of just moving around, making mincemeat of Native Red here.
TriPPPeY teleported back. He's got a flank over on the flag. Get some help from Formal, and Formal's going to continue this run. They aren't content with just a 2-flag lead. Optic are going for blood.
They get that kill. Now they're going to continue to flag push forward here, but you got a few players from Native Red. They're putting some targets onto the flag, Dave.
I like this play. Optic slows it down. The only way they're going to really lose this game is if they overcommit to this flag and allow a counter cap. They got to be cautious. They cannot force this in, and Manny gets the counter pull. It's going to be a slay game right here.
Yeah, they have no other choice. Suppress is going to be coming up on the rear. Got SoulSnipe over in the distance there, but I think that they feel comfortable enough. That's why he's going to be making this move happen here. Now, needs to get this return. It's right in front. He's got a teammate there to pick it up, and that's going to be number 4. No one there to stop it. And Optic, 1 more flag, but they might need it. They don't even need it because he got 15 seconds remaining, and that game is basically cooked. Optic Gaming look absolutely dominant on their path to the grand finals. Try as you might, Native Red. One hell of an attempt, but Optic Gaming are cooking here in Fort Worth.
What a domination from Optic Gaming. 3-0. Even times where Native Red had control, Optic finding opportunities to break out of those lockdowns.
And the outslaying from Optic, 84-66. And that was off the backs of some heroics that we were seeing from Lucid, from Formal, from APG as well. Everyone in Optic did the job, but the job's not done quite yet. 1 more step, but they have found themselves in a grand finals and an opportunity here to really silence any doubters in that, what's going on with Optic? Can they bring it back? Their pool play was a little rough, but only thing that matters is winning on Championship Sunday, and that's exactly what Optic is on the path to do.
Looking at those kills across the board, so much damage though from Lucid. 7,300, 1,500 more from the highest player over on Native.
Unbelievable. A 3-0 sweep for Optic Gaming. And when you look at that scoreline, that was just pure domination from the green wall.
Yeah, all those games were Optic controlled. It wasn't like they were just stolen out. It felt like every step of the way Optic were just in front. They were doing everything correct. They were able to break the Sebs. They were able to hold defense, let Native Red fall into so many traps. They just played it beautifully. Yeah, that was immaculate Halo. Exactly what you would want to see from Optic Gaming. But that's going to do it for us here today. We thank you so much for letting us entertain you for a little while. But for now, we're going to send it over to the man himself, Blaze, who's standing by with APG.